And go ahead and get started. So pretty sure all of you have one of each pages, or one of each. So the packet of the PowerPoint slide, and then also the enrollment form. And I'll talk about each of these after we go into extra information. All right, so welcome. I am Lena DeFellers, 4-H agent here in Cocke County, and Sarah Orr is in the back helping me with the slides. So we want to tell you a little bit about 4-H across the state of Tennessee and also in Cocke County. So I'm going to assume that you don't know everything about 4-H. I'm not sure there's many people that know everything about 4-H. So we are going to talk about all the things, and then you can ask questions as you have them. So I'm going to get us started. All right. So 4-H is defined as preparing young people to become responsible, capable, and involved leaders and citizens of Tennessee and the nation, which sounds like a very big job. So we do lots of different things across the board. So a lot of people associate us with in-school clubs, and that's a big part of what we do, but it's not all of what we do. But here in Cocke County, our focus currently is 4th, 5th, and 6th grades. We are in all of the schools. Grammar, we're only in after school, but all the other schools we are in almost every 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. So if you are not in any of those three, if you're in a grade above, or we are not in your 6th grade room, there's still lots that you can be involved in. And we don't want you to feel like you've been left out, because there's things you can be involved in that are club participation, but also after school and out of the county things. So let's get started with kind of where we're at. So if you go to 4h.tennessee.edu and you click on the What Interests You tab, there will be lots of information pop up. So here is a chart that kind of summarizes that information. There's more on there, but this is kind of a summary of the most of the things there. This is what's available across Tennessee. So if you look at this one, this is a lot of information. I just wanted you to see all the highlighted items are what we currently offer here in Cocke County. And we offer these in a lot of different areas, some of them in school clubs, a lot of them in after school, but most of these I'm going to talk about them individually, so don't worry if you can't read them or you're not sure what it means. So if we look at contest, so this is where we do some of those project areas is in our contest. Now we do these primarily in school, but if you are not in an in-school club, or if you are in an older grade, you can still participate. Now most of our information, and I'll show you later how to get in touch with that, is on Facebook, but we also do notifications with an email newsletter. So we'll share how you can participate if I'm not in your classroom. So poster contest is going to be our first one. I'll present that in September. We talk about that one in October. So if y'all will grab a paper from each of those stacks and a pencil, please. And then our speech contest we do in November. And our county speech contest, we actually just booked with Pastor Moody tonight. We're going to have here for those winners from each of those classrooms. February is our baking contest. We did that for the first time last year in quite a while, and it went really, really well. And we're hoping for more participation this year. Piggy bank contest in March. We partner with Newport Federal Bank. You may have noticed those this past spring. We were there during spring break, where you go in and you can vote on the piggy bank. And then May, see, we didn't do this one last year, but we're going to do it this year, is our photo contest. So let's dive into some of our individual activities. So the first one is Air Rifle Club. So this one is new, and we're going to partner with Hamlin County. So they usually meet at Morristown Track Club, and they are starting to recruit volunteers. So if you are interested in this, I have contact information for that. They actually posted it on their Facebook page recently. And be on the lookout for that information. The agent there, her name is Elizabeth Hobbs. She told me this week that they are shooting for starting up an interest meeting sometime later September, maybe October. So be on the lookout for that one. And then our next one is Miss Sarah's brainchild back there. And we have some of those present in our room. Some of those that are in this picture. So this was one of the competitions they went to this past year. And as I mentioned this week, they kind of swept the competition. And when you are doing livestock judging, you are judging cows, sheep, pigs, and goats. So it's pretty broad, and you learn how to judge those. And you also have a public speaking component in there. She can give you a lot more information. But as you can see on the screen, this is a December through May time frame. They typically meet weekly. So our interest meeting for that will be October the 27th. That's just to come in and kind of learn what the competition is about, what you'll be doing, your schedule, kind of get a sample of that. And then those practices start December the 1st. So if you wanted to add that into your calendar, that is, even if you're not a farmer, I feel like that's still good skills to have to be able to evaluate livestock. All right, so our next one is horse club. So this is actually one of our volunteer-led groups. So if you see a hole in our programming, say this is what we need to have in Cocke County, or we see this cool thing that other counties are doing, by all means, there's only a few of us. If you would like to help lead a group or start a project, we would love that. And so our horse club is led by Kim Hirsch. Some of you may know her. She is a health science teacher at Cosby High School. And her daughter started in horse club. But they usually meet Mondays at 6 p.m. at North Fort Baptist Church. They meet weekly with some exceptions, of course. They met this week, but they won't meet next week because of Labor Day. And they go through May. So their major competitions, and this is, I do want to point out, a knowledge-based club. You do not have to have a horse to participate. So all of the people in this picture that were at horse judging, they do not all own horses individually. So horse foal and horse pathology are usually contests in January, and then horse judging are usually in May timeframe. So if you are interested in horse club, they actually have their own Facebook page. So I created a short link so you can go follow them. They typically put their schedule on any kind of special events on there. All right, our next one is Honor Club. The Honor Club is one of those things that have been in 4-H for a pretty long time. And it's kind of mysterious. It's taken me a while to kind of figure out what Honor Club is. But it is all about citizenship, leadership, and service learning. So we're all about how we can be leaders and help other people. And so we're going to meet monthly at 5:30 before project night. And I'm going to tell you about that in the next slide. So you can come to project night and Honor Club, or either one or both. So it's totally your choice. And something I forgot to mention earlier, with 4-H, if you fill out an enrollment sheet, that is not committing you to everything. So all of our items are optional. You can pick and choose what you love. I grew up loving horses, but not necessarily livestock. So you can always pick and choose. And just because you attend a couple practices, you're not stuck in it for the entire time. We hope that you love it and do stay with it, but you're not committed through to the end. So I just don't want you to think that you have to do everything. It is definitely a pick and choose, but we hope that you will. So Honor Club, we are starting that. I'll put the dates kind of small in the slide, but I have that on project night next because those go in together. So let's talk about project night. We are having those at 6:30, and currently the plan is to have those at our office, which is the courthouse annex, but we may move those based on what kind of activity we're doing and what kind of space we need. So right now, our groups are livestock and life skills. So when you come into project night, we'll tell you what our projects are, and you can choose which one you would like to do. And then you would participate in that project for about an hour. And here are our planned days. And we are not going to have Honor Club or a project night in December, but we are going to have a Christmas party. So we're making plans about what to do with that one, and we hope that it is a fun day. So you want to make sure to note that one down as well. Let's see, did I miss anything? Project not those of you that have came. That's a good point. So livestock, I think one of the coolest ones, and it's kind of tasty too. They talk about dressing percentages for livestock. So when you take an animal to slaughter, you're not going to get 100% of that weight. So if your cow's 500 pounds, you're not getting 500 pounds of meat. So what they did is they took a pineapple. When you think of a pineapple, do you eat all of the pineapple, Sabrina? No. Do you eat all the green parts? No. Somebody no, not passing judgment, but they were able to take the weight of the pineapple and then they dressed it. So they took the top, took the skin off of it. And then think about it too. Once you take the top and the skin off, are you finished? Do you eat all of it? Some people do, but most people don't eat the core. So that's another portion that comes out. So that's one of the activities that we've done in livestock, is comparing our beginning weight of our pineapple to the weight of the different parts we've taken off, and then how much is your edible percentage at the end. So there's some math in there. There's some learning in there, understanding how processing works, but it's also tasty because you get to eat your pineapple at the end if you didn't lose it off the table. So in life skills, we may do some baking, we may do some cooking, we may do some sewing. So life skills encompasses a lot. So you don't have to have any skills to come and participate. This is a beginner activity. So we have all levels that participate. You don't have to commit to all of them. You can pick and choose as you need to. I know that everybody's very busy. There's a lot of things going on. But we hope that you'll participate because each one of them are very different. And there's only 2 of us currently at Project Knot. But like I said, if you see a need or have expertise in an area, we would love for you as an adult to come be a volunteer leader and help host another area, maybe one night. If you have skills in technology or in companion animals, you can come in and even bring it, like we have a family that has rabbits. They could come in and talk about how to care for rabbits at one Project Night. So we're open, we are flexible, we love volunteers for whatever time period they are available. So are there any questions so far? Stop. Okay. All right, so moving on to our next one. This was a big one this year. Some of y'all participated in our chick chain. So actually, this should be 2023. Chick Chain 2022 has passed. You may have seen some of our signs where we had our auction at the fairgrounds. But for Chick Chain 2023, that process will start in January. And what we do with this, if you want to move to the next slide, and we'll show them our picture. We have silver lace Wyandottes. And how that process works, you fill out an application and we have ordered those chicks. They're all supposed to be female chicks. They'll come in February. It's a little bit earlier this time around than we did last time. And you are responsible for caring for those until our show and auction in August. Now, we're not going to give them to you and then say, good luck, we'll see you in August. We have monthly meetings and we have experts come in and talk about different topics, such as nutrition, housing and predators, disease control, and that type of thing. So there is a lot of support there, and it is a great project. We had a great turnout for our auction, and we sold all of the chickens that came because you are signing up to produce a certain portion of those back for the auction to help fund the project. That is a really good one. It was pretty successful, and we had some beautiful birds at the auction this year. All right, the next one is wildlife judging. So we have both of our participants in the room. So in wildlife judging, we meet from March through May. Our competition is in May. And what we do with this is we study a list of wildlife that is native to this area. So we do everything from birds to fish to reptiles to mammals. We have quite a variety. And so we talk about how to identify them, some signs they may leave, and what kind of habitats that they live in. So we talk about a wide range of things. Sometimes we even make field trips and study some areas so we can identify the habitats for those different animals. So this is a cool one. We actually do a lot of things. And if you'll notice, I put on a lot of these activities what grade levels they're available to. So in 4-H, it's open to 4th through 12th grade. Some of the competitions and contests and activities are grade specific, and other ones like wildlife judging is not. So it's open through all 3 to 12th grade. All right. Our next one is camps. So we've talked about some competitions. We've talked about some fun stuff. We've talked about quite a variety, but camps, I think, are one of the really fun things. So we also had some in here that did a variety of camps this summer. So 4-H has a lot of camps. So you can see most of them listed here. So every camp except for our day camp, which is obviously local, are off-site. Most of them are at the 4-H Class Center in Pringle. And there's a variety of topics that are covered, a variety of activities that are covered. Most of those that are off-site are about 5 days long, so it's a sleepaway camp. And there's a little something for everybody. Now, something that you may notice is there's not as many opportunities for teenagers. So I had that question this past year, what do teens do? So we believe at that point that they can be team leaders. So we can take them to junior camp, but they are helping to be leaders at that camp along with the adults. So we're not leaving teens out, but that's a little bit different. That's something else about camp.
I was just going to comment on the team aspect. There are a lot of leadership conferences, like academic conference.
It's true.
And you get where it's Congress, Roundup,
yes.
There are other activities.
That is true. That is true. That's something I forgot to put in here, but some other team things, and Honor Club helps feed into those. So most of the conferences, All-Star Roundup conference that she mentioned, or Congress that she mentioned, they come with registration fees, but there's certain things, portfolios and essays that you can do. If you win senior public speaking contest, it's all expenses paid to these. So there's lots of opportunities for teens beyond just a camp. And a lot of those conferences too, sometimes are within the school year, not necessarily during the summer. So there's a lot of opportunities. And I hope you can see by now, there is much more to 4-H than just in-school clubs. A lot of people also assume that it's just agriculture or what used to be home ec. But we are much, much broader than that. So our next one actually is very recent. So this was this past Saturday at the Appalachian Fair in Gray. We took a team of 3 to Grill Master. So they each cooked a different meat. So they had 2 hours to complete either their beef, poultry, pork, or lamb item and turn it into the judges. So they were judged on their grill safety, on food safety, and their handling. And they were also judged on their the taste of their meat, how well they cooked it, and the way that it looked. So these all placed. Actually, I should have also put a picture in there of after the fact. This is before they got their hands dirty, but they each placed. Let's see, Jenna was not in the junior high poultry group. Jackson was 6th in the junior high beef group, and then Aiden placed 5th in the senior high pork group. So they all did a really good job, and we very much enjoyed that. So we start practices in July, and then the competition is in August. So there's tons of opportunities. So if you want to keep up with what we're doing, what things are coming next, there's a couple ways you can follow along with us. So first thing is Facebook, generally where we put our information first. So you can find the link. If you just look up Cocke County 4-H on Facebook, you can find us there. You can scan the QR code, it will take you there. But also, if you don't use Facebook, maybe you don't like it, maybe you don't get on there often, we do send out a newsletter monthly. We don't typically do this over the summer, but if you want to get the news first, don't wait for me to come to school and give it to your child. And I don't know if your child's like some of the other ones. When I go back the next month, I see the newsletter from the previous month sticking in the folder on their desk. So this way that you as the parent can keep up with the information and make sure you don't miss out on anything, you know, dates of things and such. So you can scan that code and sign up for our newsletter. And then lastly, our contact information. So this is Sarah and I's email address. This is our address, like I mentioned previously. We're in the courthouse annex, and this is our office phone number. So if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer them tonight. If you have something else you want to come by and bring to us, or have questions or concerns, or something that pops up later, you know where to find us now. All right. Anybody have any questions? That was a lot of information. No, I'll talk really fast.
And some of these projects and camps and stuff that
Mhm.
have listed that have about 2,000 days with those locations. Is there a standard location for those?
Yeah, so I didn't put all the information in here, but when I send out newsletters and post it on Facebook, I'll include like registration deadlines, where they're at, time frames, and all that kind of stuff. But most of our camps, so let me flip back to this so I can give you specific. The junior and junior high camp are both at our Greenville Camp Center. Electric camp is in Knoxville at UT. Fashion and design camp or conference is this year it was in Gatlinburg, I believe, the Edgewater Hotel. Target Smart and Quilt Camp are both at the center in Greenville. And then our day camps, I really didn't mention our day camps, but we do those. We did 7 this year. Sometimes we do them on site at a facility, or we do kind of like a field trip. So we did whitewater rafting and horseback riding. We also did Wild That Cow Day Camp, where we did our pineapple dressing percentages again, and lots of other hands-on things that Riley was actually at that one, so he could tell you a little bit more about Wild That Cow Day Camp. So we do a variety of things. So if overnight camp is not for your child, that's okay. But also, and I keep mentioning volunteers, adult leaders can go with us to overnight camp. So if your child has never been away from home overnight, maybe they're not comfortable, maybe none of their friends are going, you could volunteer and go with them. And so I actually met a dad from Hamilton County, which is Chattanooga. He was there with his son, and he had been kind of hesitant to go to camp, but he was very thankful for that time one-on-one with his son, because he also had twin girls at home. So I think the son was also glad to have some time without his sister. Yes. So that is our unicorn, is adult male leader. Yes.